guest lecturer to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The university decided that in doing this, we would want to have somebody that this would revolve around to acknowledge the person, to recognize his contribution to development in this country, to honor him, celebrate him, and help maintain the legacy that he has left. And through that process, inculcate leadership skills into our constituents. Many other institutions of Ireland have similar lecture series. If you go to the University of Ghana, there is a lecture that is held every year on studying people together. Here, university decided to do it in honor of our people who was there, the first Ghanaian vice of AIS. Which university is our people who UCC has it in honor of Kwame Nkrumah for very good reason. And the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences has lectures in honor of Kwame Nkrumah and David Aguilar. And here, at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, we decided that we will revolve this leadership development skill around JEAs for very good reasons. So, who is JEAs? I'm sure all of you know who JEAs is or was. Or since we are celebrating his memory, maybe I'm going to say who he is. It's a fancy from the Tom, and I didn't know there was a town like that until he passed, and then I saw this come forward and claim their own. He was born in 1944 in Papa, and he's the third president of the fourth Republic of Ghana. He went to school in Ashwater, he did his ONA levels there, then to the University of Ghana to study law, and then to the London School of Economics, where he had a LLM degree in 1968. I don't know how many people are around in 1968. I know my students over here. He went ahead to SUA, the London, SUA is based in London, the School of Oriental and African Studies in 1971 to 20. He spent 25 years of his time in academia. He rose the rank of an associate professor at the faculty of. He spent time learning University in Holland as a business scholar, and at MSc a couple of times. Then he went to UBC for 2 years. And I always say that I pride myself in the fact that I met him at UBC when he came out of business school. I was then at UBC as guest speaker. Health meter defense. And somebody told me, the vice president is here. The vice president is here. So I thought I was going to meet because they said the vice president is here. And when I went, it was the good one. The reason why I remember this very much is the fact that I had to extend my stay in Vancouver for 3 extra days because of my own. It happened around that period. So I always remember that incident. Why don't the Atta-Mills? A statesman and a political leader. And the reason why we choose to associate with him in this way is for his role in the establishment of this university. It's not lost on any of you that it was his political promise as part of his campaign, when he was campaigning. He would like to see all sorts of things. And this is one of the things that he promised. So he was very keen on ensuring that it will happen. And it happened, albeit with some challenges. And there was a bit of rippling around because it got delayed. I've shown this slide a couple of times, but a couple of people have seen it. But because there was a delay, there was a bit of rippling. I'll leave you to read it yourself. I won't say what is there. But bottom line is that coding for better can administer progress. First matriculation, 1st September 2011. Contact VC, Pro VC, registrar, holding brothers and sisters, and the states, all the animals in the bush. Be it as it may, we moved on. Then the Act of Parliament passed in December, and then we went ahead as a collective. Move. We are one of the very few universities who are mandated to do specific things. The Act of Parliament that sets up says we must do A, B, C, 11 of them. The last one outstanding is the issue of mental education. It will come to pass in this whole time. So today, this is the campus that you are visiting, and that is why I say we have a very beautiful campus. And we enjoy the fact that we have a beautiful campus. We know we have a long way to go because this beautiful campus that you have seen is represented by just that on our master plan. So the rest will be built. But as President Nana said when he came here, Rome was not built in a day, but it was built. So we shall go ahead and build. And as I speak now, our central administration is under construction, our School of Nursing and Midwifery is under construction. We are constructing some students' hostels. Actually, our first hall of residence on this main campus should be ready by June. And we have staff bungalows all going. And one of the flagship programs that we are very happy about is the China Phase 2 project, which was facilitated by the Ministry of Finance and the Chinese government. And we are very, very happy for that. And when everything is done, this is what we expect to have as the addition to the university. And the central administration. And this is going up very fast. We're going to have about 2,500 lecture seats at the go. It will be a game changer. And I just want to give you a small peek of what is going on as of now. If you have time after this lecture, just go in that direction. Just about 500 meters, you see everything coming out there. So we've come very, very far. And here we are 10 years. So we say we are a great giant that is still rising. We are indeed a great giant that is still rising. We started with just 154 students. Today, we have over 7,000 students with almost 5,000 regular students and about 3,000 sandwich students. This, for us, is a story to be told. And more important, we have contributed almost 5,500 health professionals into the Ghanaian health sector. 73 chemists, over 3,000 nurses and midwives, over 600 allied health scientists. And this they have to explain that allied health scientists refers to physiotherapists, dietitians, hearing, science specialists, and all that. Yeah. And then public health practitioners, over 1,000 of them. Here we're talking about disease control officers, health promotion officers, nutrition officers. And then we contributed over 300 doctors and physician assistants into the system. And then another 78 postgraduate students. I think we've done very, very well. So, as Plato said, we should never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow it is. And we believe we are on the right track. And I'd like to say that the mission is here for an appointed time. Even though it tarries, wait for it. For in the end, it shall speak and not lie. It shall surely come to pass. But we have to put our shoulders to the wheel. So that is why we set up all these lectures. And the first one was delivered by Professor Louis in 2016. And he spoke on the subject matter, higher education and its impact on health development. The following year, we brought in Dr. Delano Dokno, who worked for the World Health Organization in the African region, to speak to us on the subject matter, people who work for our health, finding a fit for purpose workforce for sustainable development. The year after, we brought in the regional director of the World Health Organization to speak to us on universal health coverage in Africa. There was a little challenge at the very last minute, so we sent two able representatives to come and speak for her. Dr. Martin Ota and Dr. Owen Kalua K. The fourth lecture came on the year after. We had Professor David Molyneux, an emeritus professor of the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, to come and speak to us on neglected tropical diseases. And then in 2020, we scheduled Dr. Aneta Samoba to come and speak to us. Then COVID came, so we had to postpone. But we managed to convince him to come back the year after, which was last year, to speak to us on the subject matter, the nexus of politics, power, and people, and partnerships and promoting good. So today we are here, and the sixth lecture is here. And our distinguished lecturer is Dr. Joseph Siamadeko, and he's going to speak to us on sustaining environmental sanitation gains through specialized education. So, who is this lecturer? He's a Ghanaian, and as I read about him, I said he was an entrepreneur, but in written in his bio and other places that he's a serial entrepreneur. That's what a serial means. I'm sure after he's spoken to us, we'll get to know. He's won multiple awards in this country. He came from very humble background. He was born in March 1970 on a farm village in Asin and Wabin in the central region. He's the sixth of 17 children of his father. His father didn't believe the family man. And then I read that he was originally Phillips. I changed his name to Joseph. That is a subject matter for discussion another time. But I believe his elder brother Daniel found something in him and decided to move him out of the village and brought him to Accra. So he relocated to Accra. This is when he was 4 years old. Don't ask me where I got the photo. I know how to do my work. So after relocating to Accra, he went to school at Teshin, Graduate School, then Royal Technical Institute in Ruteco. I know Ruteco very well because I met my boy. And when you are on the road, you see the signboard in that corner there. I know Ruteco very, very, very well. And at the end of the day, he got City and Guilds certificate in electrical engineering thanks to Ruteco. So we want to celebrate Ruteco today. After Ruteco, he wanted to be a pilot. He wanted to be a marine engineer and all that. But he's here, he's not in the air. So you can ask him why. But what I know is that he ended up as a bookshop attendant, buying and selling and then started some small-scale printing, and then got into a printing press, and then some waste management issue. You all know those bicycles that were around, and after that, he's into several businesses. And we all have early days in our life. And there is a Russian say for everyone. We did not just arrive. And I pray that these clothes are in archives somewhere. But the important thing is that today, he is the executive chairman of Johnson Group of Companies. That is the important story. I was amazed. Last night I was trying to find out about Johnson. I went to their website to read a bit. They are into logistics, they are into oil and gas, they are into agri business, they are into manufacturing, they are into banking and finance, they are into ICT, they are into printing and publishing, and waste management. And it's because we all know him for waste management. So whenever we see him, we think of Zoom Live. But he's doing a lot more than that. So, if you go into their website, they have so many subsidiaries. So many subsidiaries. And I thought they were exaggerating some of them. When I saw Metro TV, I said, I know that Alpha guy is not Johnson. So I went to Google and then I saw that Johnson has acquired Metro TV. Hey, this man, there's acquired Metro TV too. So there are several subsidiaries and the Johnson Group. And they are now going international. In the West African sub-region, in Asia, they are establishing networks and links all over the place. But the good thing is that somebody who ended up at Rotel, in that corner in Umba, has been invited as a speaker at Ghana's Premier University a couple of times. He's been invited to speak at Harvard Center for African Studies. Last year, he was a keynote speaker at Planet, which is a conference that is held very regularly. Last year, so was at Budapest. He was a key discussant. And as you read from his brochure, he received several awards. Several awards. Almost every award that goes to the entrepreneurs in this country, he has won it. But I believe the one he cherishes most is the one he received in 2008, the Order of Vote, conferred on him by President Ford in 2008. And I just found out last night also that in 2011, he was conferred an honorary doctorate degree on him. But what I've noticed is that he is a friend of government. I didn't say he's a friend of NBC or a friend of NBC. He's a friend of government. I've seen him with President Muhammad. Very nice environment. I've seen him with Nanabu. I see him everywhere. Then I read about the tribute that he wrote for President Robbins. So he's a friend of government. I was looking for a photo of him with President Robbins, but I didn't find one. But apart from that, all the presidents of the Fourth Republic have seen him in very cozy photos with them. One thing I liked when he celebrated his 50th birthday last year was when he told a story that he had to borrow a bicycle to go and propose to his wife. What that made is here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I Our speaker for today, Dr. Joseph Siam. On the subject matter, sustaining sanitation gains through specialized education. Once again, welcome.
The Honorable Gunta Regional Minister, Dr. Atta-Mills, Honorable MMDCs, executives of Joscom, Zoom Lion, the Chief Operating Officer of the Zoom Lion cluster, Honorable management and staff of Joscom Group, distinguished invited guests, faculty members of staff of UHAS, students, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. I am first of all want to make a few remarks about the introduction that was made by Prof. There's no any argument about topics. They can dissect you. They can, if I look at everything about you, when you go to a doctor, the first thing is to examine you. So, Prof, you have examined you very well. It is a great pleasure to be here with you to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to those whose recommendation it is to invite me to join the UHAS community at this August ceremony. I am very much humbled by this consideration and invitation. I am further humbled by the invitation as an honorary speaker in such a reputable lecture series in honor of the late Professor John Evans Atta-Mills, the third president of the Fourth Republic, and the whose presidency and mission UHAS was established in the year 2011. The late Professor Evans Atta-Mills was a president whose leadership philosophy went strongly around humility and service to the people. To be called upon to deliver his memorial lecture is therefore an honor, and I will not take it lightly. At this stage, I would like to say a few words about my relationship with the late Professor Evans Atta-Mills, the person for whom the memorial lectures have been instituted. Zuland Ghana Limited started under President John Kufuor in the year 2006. And the late President Atta-Mills taking over in the year 2009. Council Chair, ladies and gentlemen, it was an experience. When there was a change of government from 2008 to 2009, the first year, in the year 2009, was not quite easy. Especially the company that was established under the previous government, and then there's a change. The kind of perception and ideas and so many things. So I was very, very worried about I didn't know anyone in NBC. I've never, there's a few people, Honorable Atta-Mills, Honorable Kufuor, but I didn't know most of the people. We were called for an interrogation and audit at the conference hall. At that time, that was the secretariat that President Mills was using. Interrogations, and you see that everybody was new, foreign to me. I didn't know anyone. So I had to manage to make friends. But it was not getting well because the background was from the other government. So I created a launching of equipment, building capacity for contractors. Because I knew that being out of government for past 8 years, contractors will need capacity to be able to construct. So I initiated that. And I invited the Vice President then, President Mahama, to come, because I knew him, so I invited him to come commission and council that we can distribute to contractors, the government was already able to use them. Then just 3 days to the time of the launch, I heard that President Mills was attended. So I've never met this man, I didn't know him anywhere, I've never met him. I woke up. And so it became a challenge. Well, it was a Friday. Early in the morning, I got there 8 a.m. By 9 a.m., I heard in the yard that President Mills had arrived. How did he arrive? No motor dispatch, no escort. They sat in the Ford Escort, the blue van, and they came arrived. And so I was very just nervous, trying to arrange things. He came and sat down. He came alone. He didn't come with any minister, and so we had a very nice commission, and my spirit was revived because, and so this is the picture. That's how it was. When he came to, he was wearing the same color. It was a Friday. The same color. It goes on design. We never planned because I was going to him. He was wearing the same color. And so when after this commission of the plan, I saw some of the ministers and some of the leaders of the party of NDC telling me that I should take it to present us because they saw that we were wearing the same color. In fact, I got a lot of false people were contacting me that I should take it. How do you wear the same uniform? People plan, people different. And my spirit revived. That's how I'm thinking. So that's how I walked into the system already. And it revived me. I lay a lot of fears. But my brother is we did a lot of so many things. Now, after the celebration of the commission, I went to him to express gratitude. And you could see the kind of leader that he was. When I went to him, it was the first time I passed him. So I went to him and I greeted him and said, that I came to thank you very much. He says, I came there to show the Ghanaians that I did not come to destroy Ghanaian businesses. Leader. He came says, I came there to tell Ghanaians. Also, almost Mamma, gave for one plant. Now what's Mamma? But I came there to show the Ghanaians that I did not come to destroy Ghanaian businesses. And that's why he came no around, no escort, nothing. It was later that the party leaders and that were going. And he says, so. And I want to quote him very well. He says, I will never do anything to your business. You can insult me, you can do anything to me, I will not come after you. I will only come after you when you have deformed the republic, when you have faulted the republic. Then you see, but I will do anything. Go and do your business. I will challenge, revive, move on. We even created a forestation project in November. And when we created that, it got to the point that the business was taking over for me. We created a forestation, we launched it, we bought vehicles and other things, and within just a month, the business was taking over for me. And the statement was that President Mills that I have so many businesses, so I should leave this one to the party people to pay with. So one of the Ashanti party chairman took over the business for me. I wept, I cried, and I didn't have anybody to go to. And one day, in fact, I became restless. And one day I prayed and God told me that let me go to this man. So I got a window, went to him and asked him. And I said, Mama, where am I? What wrong have I done to you? And where you could be where you are starting with you? What difference? I said, Amen. even the woman was in a human eye and the boss, it was the issue. Hey, one friend, and he immediately called the then minister. We need to misbehave with my partner. This is the kind of a leader that we are speaking about. A selfless leader, a dedicated and committed, a leader for the people. And so the statement that he made was that Mr. Ledemo was a businessman and he didn't start to meet him. Council Chairman, the theme of the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the university is the role of specialized university in national development. And within that context, my topic is sustaining environmental sanitation gains through specialized education. Today's lecture is divided into 5 sessions. Section 1 is the introduction as a young man. Section 2 speaks of the anniversary theme. In Section 3, I will shift to a snapshot of my life and the vengeance of Islam. Then in Section 4, I'll focus on sustaining environmental gains through specialized education and highlight the contributions of the just one group of companies, including Islam, while Section 5 will be the conclusion of this lecture. Council Chairman, the role of universities in national development has become a critical subject of discussion in Africa, not just in academia, but also in industry and even so on the streets. The interest and attention in the roles of university in national development has increased, among other things, due to the continuous concern that the university should be at the forefront in addressing the myriad of problems confronting the continent. Historically, establishment of university was key in the fight for independence on the continent. Almost all African countries strove to establish at least one national university immediately after gaining independence. In all such countries, the main purpose of the establishment of university was and continues to be for the university to play a pioneering role in addressing the myriad of problems including illiteracy, poverty, social disorganization, unemployment, low productivity, hunger, and disease. However, after nearly 6 decades since the first independent state was attained in Africa, and almost 3 decades after total independence in Africa, the continent is still characterized by these very problems. These fundamental problems that cut across social, economic, political, health, and education seem insurmountable and continue to threaten the African people. In Ghana, there is almost always every discussion of the rising situation of unemployment among university graduates, among ordinary Ghanaian parents or Ghanaians who once have completed various university programs and are unable to secure jobs. In industry, there is always a concern about whether the graduates being churned out by universities every academic year are not ready. Consequently, the relevance of universities in Ghana towards the development of our country is a serious, trending and recurring national issue. A response to making universities more responsive to our developmental challenges, there has been yet another shift in the university system globally. With a strong embrace of the African continent, the establishment of specialized universities, there are the universities that are established with enhanced academic and research expertise, focus on addressing specific developmental concerns. These specialized universities focus on practical and applied areas such as science and technology, health, environment, and natural resource exploration. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology was the first specialized university established in 1952 to offer specialized education in engineering, science, and technology to resolve the country's industrialization agenda. This was after the establishment of the University of Ghana under the British rule in 1948, with focus on social sciences and humanities. The University of Lagos was established in 1962 to train teachers for the numerous secondary schools that were springing up. However, these universities may now be described as comprehensive since they focus on a diverse range of disciplines. UHAS therefore occupies the enviable position of a specialized university dedicated to tackling health development in Ghana by training health professionals. The establishment of UHAS therefore timely and critical in improving healthcare delivery in Ghana. Health is understandably the core of all aspects of human development, and it is my hope that UHAS sticks to this focus, especially since the health delivery system is being comprehensively expanded thanks to Agenda 111. The former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Winston Churchill, would not have put it in any better when he said that healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. I'm of the firm belief that there is no calling higher than being entrusted with the health of the nation. UHAS therefore has been entrusted with the highest calling of safeguarding the health of Ghanaians. This responsibility is daunting and critical. UHAS cannot and should not fail the Ghanaian people on this mandate. Mr. Chairman, since I received this invitation, I have been keen on following how well UHAS has been living up to its highest call to serve the people of Ghana. I must say that, and I've been very well pleased with the impressive work done so far. In the short years of this establishment, I am very impressed that UHAS is making significant strides at the national, continental, and global levels. And I really want to also add my words to the previous speakers yesterday to congratulate UHAS for its 10th year anniversary. If you look at this facility, this institution, and they tell you that it's 10 years, you see the astronomical growth, the leadership, the founding council members, lecturers, management. I don't want to say that people have done very well. If this was to attest for 10 years, you can have a strategic plan, business analysts doing any kind of research. You might think that it is not achievable, but you've done very well. I'm aware you must be run best university in Ghana and the 36 in Africa by 8 new scientific index in the year 2020, where scientific rankings. In the same rankings, top professors from UHAS, such as Professor Fred, Professor Usually, Professor John Usually, were also ranked second, third, and fourth in Ghana. And third, 103, 11 in Africa, respectively, in the fields of medical and health sciences. Other notable faculty members were also highly ranked. There are also several senior faculty members who have won various prestigious national and international awards. I don't want to applaud this. These are significant feats of a young specialized health university in Ghana. And I humbly want to also applaud the council chair and his members for their leadership role in state affairs of this university. Council chair, congratulations. Indeed, all these great scholars that UHAS, I say, are good. Having spoken about the role of special universities in national development, I would like to share with you my personal story as it relates to the emergence of just one group of companies, especially like Ghana Limited, and this impact on environmental health. My hope is that through that you will appreciate the attendant leadership issues. As earlier introduced by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Japon, I think most of all these pictures have already been shown. I'm the firstborn of 17 children. My father married 3 wives. And the reason why I became being born and bred in the village was that, you know, when you have 3 wives and one gets pregnant, the only is you ask you to go to your mother to go and deliver so that you have space for the other 2. You bring your stomach and your kind of attendant working in the house. So we live in the same house. So once one gets pregnant, one have to go to your mother to deliver and then take care of you so that you can get attendant to the 2. So when it was my mother's time, we went to the village and in the farm that I was living. And at that time, there wasn't no hospital and everything, so family spirits would come and then make all the celebrations and other things. So it was that time that for a year, my father was not coming to the village because he has born. So my mother made me first. It was then my mother made me first. So I got a new first from my mother. And I developed it through school. It was when I was in class 2 and my father was looking at my homework and saw the name first. And I said, no, I didn't name first. And he took the name there and made the music. So I was named twice. So that's where I got the name music. I then came to Accra. We schooled at the military school. Then my father was a photographer. Someone shared the knowledge that we go into farming with buy food. So he sold all, he was having about 3 shops in Accra. He sold the shops and everything and moved into the village to the farm. And he carried all the 70 to the village. It was there that I schooled in the village there, barefooted, the school, did the house that all the 70 were living. The man there, in fact, have a style and how the person, how many people, you don't go, you see a style there, you show the mark. And because of the 3 wives, you have 3 separate marks there. And when we were 17, and then extended families who were all in 30, you see some head up, some legs down. You find very challenging. So I did that, passed through that, and you modify it. The teachers have to use you as carriers of food stuff for people who have come to the city to come and buy food stuff to go and sell at Mokola and the bush. So you go and cut the food stuff from the farm and then come to the street and then move on. So that was the kind of life I moved in, develop, until when I go to classes, there's classes, and I have to be transferred back to Accra by my senior brother, Daddy, who took care of us. And then we came in batches. I was the 3rd batch. The 1st batch was our senior brother and those leaders. The 2nd and the 3rd batch. So we came, then I have to complete my go. And you know the kind of story. The school that I left, the British school that I left when I was in class 3. And then moved to the village. I was promoted to class 6 because I was able to speak some English. And so because of the way I could speak English, I was promoted from class 3 to class 6. At the village. That's attached me. When I came back to Accra, all the English is gone. I couldn't speak because in the village we using P to speak. Everything was P. So I couldn't speak. When we went to do a test, I failed Basara. So they repeated me again in class 3. I saw those that class 3 at class 6. And I was in class 3. I have to begin life again. I finished my common entrance. I chose Legon as my first choice, Wesley Grammar as my second choice, and I passed. I got my second choice, Wesley Grammar at +1, and I was going to tell my father to organize things so that I can go to school. Father said, "No man, that's matter." And so I should move and find something to do. Oh, I went, I saw my classmates going around in the morning. You see them with their trunk going to school, and I'll stand in front of the gate shouting and waving. Everything is gone, destiny. So my father told me that I should go and assist my mother at the shop to be able to deal with some stationary issues. So I started on the street selling. In fact, the shop the shop that my mother was handling or working there belonged to my father. And because of stress and issues, he sold it. So the owner allowed my mother to just trade in front of the shop. And so we were dealing with issues there. I have to move to the streets. If it is getting to this stuff, you see me with jewelries and everything selling. I walked from Accra back to Ghana there to La Beach. I walked there to La Beach. I was walking there, moving through La Bonne, Apapa, moving. But when you are selling jewelries, you have to move around. So move around there. I've walked also from Accra, Lesimobra to Coca-Cola Junction, Sweetest Road. I've walked. At that time, there was no taxi on the road. The place were bushy. You can't get anywhere, you fly the road and that. So you have to walk through that area. And my mother fell very ill. And at the age of 52 years, she died. My mother died, and I have to manage the business to take care of my 7 siblings. So I have to manage it out, struggle. But before she died, she supported me with 3 cities. At that time, now $3. At that time, they could to set up a printing press. Before she died, she helped me. I was telling her that I want to set up a printing because the movement of the jewelry selling and other things are really more entrepreneurial and they're getting things on. So I was then moving to schools. I'll come to the UHAS. They take orders, they go and print it at the printing press, and then bring it to you have to take a commission. I was a commission agent. And so I did that, and then set up the printing press. And then from the printing press, I developed the kind of a culture of entrepreneurship. And then in the year 2000 and 1996, 1995, we set up the printing press. In 1996, I was supplying stationery items to Land Commission. And when I went there, I heard the procurement officer say that they needed a contractor to come and install a barricade to prevent people just moving, coming to their offices so that they can direct them. When I heard the voice of that, I just told her that I can do it. He said, we're going to be a stationary supply. How can you say, no, I said this one, I beg you, I can do it. So, he said, bring an estimate. I have to quickly rush at church. I know some artisans, some masons and carpenters. I have to call them together to come and then measure the thing. And then we presented an estimate. And then I just established a company called Excellent Building Construction. To the downside. In the year 2000, I was there when a member of parliament came to bring posters at our printing press, the Johnson printing press. And then they asked that, can we print some t-shirts? I said, what can we do? I quickly mobilized, I didn't know anything about it. So I have to call friends and ask the people who know this thing is being printed. We just managed it out. And then we established appointed time. The new appointed time was like, I just took that code, This is right. Actually, it's getting into a study of the excellent one was that this is a good time for me to make a construction proposal. It was excellent. Then I wanted that time this is the correct time. So we established a project time printing press, and then we developed and then move ahead. Then the business of the printing became challenging. So you have to move to people to get the business, and it was too challenging. So it came down. I believe in prayers. I'm a Christian and believe in prayers. I believe in the power of God. So I went to find place to pray. And then I got a chance, saw a vision of ideas of a very beautiful music collective of Atta-Mills. And so in the year 2005, there were so many challenges in those management. People were shouting, the streets of Accra was dirty, things and other things. This was the situation. In the year 2006, everywhere there was kind of an outcry of a kind of that filth and other issues. So then the idea came. I took a loan to China to buy a printing equipment. I didn't go to China. So someone took me there through Hong Kong, we walk, and then through Hong Kong, we have to go to China. And then we went there. Then I saw a tricycle on the street of China using collecting waste. Then it really recalled my dream that I had when I was praying. So I called the bank manager and I want to use the money to buy tricycles. As for the loan we gave you because we were going to use the equipment as security. That's why I buy tricycles. So I used some of the money to buy the tricycles and then brought them to my house, paid them, and my wife and I were praying together about it. My wife was a very solid, prayerful person, supported me, and then that became the birth of Zoom Live. And when we started with Zoom Live, can you change that one? When we started with Zoom Live, we brought in some tricycles. So we organized an assembly plan. The first focus was to develop a plant, so to assemble the plant and then to start with that. So okay, yes, yes, that's it. Okay, that's it. So we started with this, and we started with assembling of the tricycles ourselves. We started with some of the tricycles ourselves, and we started developing these tricycles. We developed them. We built them up. We saw that some of the areas were very sandy, and so we developed the Bola taxi. We introduced street sweeping and salt tax. I was there when one early morning I was called by President before the chief of staff had that President wanted to meet me. I was very in a troubled manner, just very confused. Why did the President meet me for? I went to him in the morning. He asked me, who gave me this idea? I told him that it was God who gave me the idea. He said, okay, I will support you. And then he started. So we visited one of our plants, and then he gave us encouragement in the development of it. In 2008, there was 2008 African population, Ghana being the hosting country, and we fought ahead to get the contract. We didn't know anything about it. we didn't do anything. Tricycles. We were using tricycles. How can you do a stadium of tricycles? So we have to manage. Mrs. Lamy was here. She had to go to Germany to go and look at the stadium. In 2006, the Germans who said that welcome. So go and look at the stadium, how it is. And then we went there, look at the stadium, took pictures and used it as proposals. That we have done it. So we told them that we were there, we knew how to do it. We gave us the contract. So we have to manage and then deal with that. Then we established what we call the introduction of sanitation guidelines for public health education, where we were calling on the tankers, the summer concept, because we're dealing with issues and challenging times of speed. So we have to introduce this. So this was established in the year 2008. We organized about 4,000 sanitation guards to be able to solve and deal with some of the problems. We also brought in beach cleaning. Also brought in beach cleaning and was there a good day. So for creativity and artists, it was not quite challenging. It was gifted by God and we were able to create when, especially this also tied into government's agenda of creating jobs. So when there are issues and problems, we're able to navigate around it and then able to create some jobs. So mosquito control program like this, through the Ministry of Health, we created about 5,000 workforce there. Then there was an issue in Guinea-Conakry when one day we heard that Guinea-Conakry was having a challenge of waste management. We have to travel there, we have contact with them, and then we got a contract there in Guinea-Conakry. This lab went there, did a good work, the chief operating officer was here, and then we contract there. And let me tell you the story. It was, you see, there's an army officer, he was the president, he was overthrown. And he was searching for money, we were not happy. We were not happy. And how we were going to come, it was quite challenging. We have to escape and then we run to the airport and then we have to come back. So we didn't go to change that money again. In the year 2010, Angola was also organizing the African Cup of Nations 2010. The experience we got from Ghana in 2008, we developed that kind of collaboration also with them and we got the contract. The industrialization of waste management in Ghana. Mr. Chairman, according to the World Bank report, the world generates 1.4 kilograms of waste per capita per year. However, waste generation rates particularly from 0.11 to 4.5 kilograms per capita per year. The report estimates that 2.1 billion tons of solid waste were generated in 2016 and is expected to grow to 2.59 billion. Research also showed that East Asia and Pacific region generates of the world waste at 23% compared to 6% of the Middle East. In Africa, solid waste generated is in the rate of 125 million tons per day, and 81% were from the sub-Saharan Africa, and it's estimated to go to 244 million. In Ghana, in 1999, the first sanitation policy was enacted. A strategic plan known as National Environmental Sanitation Strategy and Action Plans. Investment in rich and its working force was quite challenging. That's why the good intentions and plans of government. Then we moved into how best we be able to solve. So what we did was we brought in some class, have an assembly plant to assemble class. So we were one of the companies that brought in an assembly plant to assemble. So this class, some of them were assembled in Ghana. But what I did was, the Chinese guys who were manufacturing the cars, bring all your tools, bring all your experience in, share with Ghanaians. We went to magazine, we put some guy there, MBTI, and then the technical knowledge that I had as earlier electrical, I went to some technical education students and also got some guidance. So we are somewhat of the past there. And then you see President Mahama, bicycle was also assembled here. So it was part of the development of the equipment to support the sanitation. We saw that today we can attend that the bicycle has increased. The border taxi that we have before, it was a revolution in the new sector. Because it was not dignified for young guys to be able to get involved. We have to grant them, we have to dignify them and make them very attractive. So we brought in this bicycle. So today you have about 10,000 everywhere. This bicycle, so it was 2 months innovative idea that got that revolution. And during the highway, they are able to discharge along the highway because of the long distance. So we created what we call a transfer station that you have to go closer, just few kilometers to the transfer station, and then the long trailers will carry the refuse to the dumping site. So these were the long trailers that are used for hauling the waste. Now Ghana has a composition of waste of 70% being organic. And organic fertilizer is good for agriculture and that. So keep the studies in various forms that waste can be treated, either waste to energy, waste to compost and that. Through research, we got the idea of waste to compost. And so we started with the first compost plant in the year 2012. We started with that. To make a story of this. Well, we started constructing in 2009. We have a good idea of getting this. The former president, Professor Mr. President, gave an order of support seriously. So through the government, we got 80 million series support loan from Snapchat. That's the kind of person that we're talking about. We need development. We supported us with 80 million loan from Snapchat, and then we got the funding for the completed plant. And so we finished the plant, and then we started working. Then in 2017, 2012, 2016, NDC lost power, and then NPP came. The first year was not quite easy. 1 year, Zula has a challenge, either to A or B. In 2017, 10th of April precisely, His Excellency in Africa came and then visited the plant. And the words that he gave us, so very good. The words that he gave us, he says, man, I want to put it. He says, when you are the head of affairs of new things in this country, you need a subject of controversy, and my government will help you. So he supported us and did a good work. We completed the commercial compost plant, which can produce about 2,000 tons. We also, Accra was 2,000 tons. Kumasi was also commissioned under the leadership of President Nana. And then we started working and moving it up. By characterization, we have plastics, we have so many things. So we started mining each of the components of it, protect it in something. So we turn trash to cash. I take the plastics. Today you see that the young guys, they all have some sacks behind the bicycle. When they come to your house and are picking things, they are also picking some recoverables. And so they come to sell it at very romantic points and then they're able to convert it. So the plastics are able to be grinded and as converting material, and then we're able to produce dustbins. Now the manufacturing plant that they're able to use to produce dustbins. We came with the realization of having digitized the processes of distributing beans, collection, transporting, and treatment. And so we added this kind of tag system onto the beans so that we can be located. So through the addressing system, every house can be located with a bean with an RFID tagging system. The concept of this 1 million bean is very, very old. The 2020 census data indicate that about 8 million households in Ghana, we are targeting about 1 million to distribute beans free. Beans free because we manufacture them, and then we can be able to get the waste to the plants, and then be able to have a recycling, and then also be able to create value out of that. So this is beans money. This is not needed. This is beans money. This is beans money. So we have collaborative bankers, Ecobank, Zenith, the Standard Chartered, and other things, and we are distributing the bean free, and then we'll be able to get some kind of value from that. This is a model of a proposed waste management facility for the 60 regions. Excellency Nando initiated this concept in August 2020, kind of saw Atta-Mills. And this is a model that you have a compost plant, a medical waste treatment plant, a recycling plant, a tire recycling plant. And so this is a model that is currently ongoing, and this is being set up in all the regions. Currently, we have one that's home, we have one at home now. It's under construction. The Honorable Regional Minister, Dr. Richard Carlson, and our last year, and then this is what we are seeing now. The medical waste treatment plant is under construction, and move by the end of the year, the whole plant will be in operation. Within the next 3 months, the equipment will be fixed there, and then it is going to generate 80 workers. First, 80 workers are going to work in the plant, and then indirectly about 200 for those cutting the refuse from the various adjoining districts to the center. It is positioned in the region with adjoining district benefits so that those kind of adjoining districts also can bring their refuse there. So first 80 staff and then 200 indirect staff. And this hopefully within 6 months the equipment are ready to be fixed and then start to work. The one is completed, and also we're going to start working. Then in the year 2050, upon most all this, Ghana was then as the 7th dirtiest country in the world. And by Council Chair, ladies and gentlemen, by all the work that we're putting, this was the issue. So we do research, we recognize that it was the fecal matter being directly discharged into the sea. That's why Ghana was taken as the 7th dirtiest country. This has been there for 100 years. Chairman, this has been there for 100 years. Since independence, this has been the form of Ghana, how we discharge this directly to the sea. And so we decided, we attempted, because what really moved me was that if upon all what we have done the solid waste, we are still the dirtiest country, then we have not done that anymore. So we have to research, and then we brought in guys from University, some from China, and what it is interesting to know that when we pick some of the fecal matter of those in Accra to test, that's where I learned about fecal matter issues. That the fecal matter of Accra is quite different. I learned a lot. They bring samples from Tamale, they bring samples from Marseille. They have to tighten the one in Accra, the machine. And by asking, they say that the people in Accra eat solid food. And those in So we are Atta side. So we have to design for that this equipment was designed. We have to take it to China to design the tool, and then we have to take the research and then design it out, and then we got this plan working. So this is how the plan seems to work there. We converted the 100-year problem and solved it in this dignified manner that we have currently today working. Of power is able to keep 300 trucks a day, able to receive 300 trucks a day. As we speak now, since 2016, we have stopped discharging the speed directly into the sea. Then we went to Kumasi. This also the situation at Kumasi that alongside the streets and everywhere. So we have to also come in and solve the problem. Today, there's the plan and model that we have done in Kumasi. UHAS has, we will be going to UHAS on the research to be able to deal with the issue who is the same. It's also being done on the refugee now. It's being discharged from the refugee now. Since we don't have the central super system, these are kind of the models that we have to develop in the regions to be able to get. So every region has a solid and liquid recycling. So this is a plant, a salt cutting that was done for Takwari, Tamale, Then we also saw that there was also a challenge, a serious one, people with those parties of medical waste. And UHAS as other sciences for development of medical issues and other things. In most of our hospitals, we have about 10,000 medical facilities. In Ghana, children house about 6,000, private hospitals about 1,000 and over, public ones. When you have a dustbin place at hospital, we bust the pathology waste and everything to them. There's only few hospitals that HEFRA is doing well now that they are able to sell. Most of the private ones that are not meet the regulation, we bust all together. So these are samples. We go to a place where the needs are there, and these were the issues there. So we quickly sought to generate an autoclave system, whereby, because when it's taken to the landfill, it's gone and then you have to excavate and bury it, which also you have scavengers moving to the landfill site. You have dogs, you have animals moving there, you can go and zoom it up and then create a nuisance. So we came out with an autoclave system. In the year 2016, we traveled with President Mahama to take it. We got an idea of a partnership with Zoo Park, and then we created this. So that was used for the vaccination exercise of the 19. We partnered with Ghana Health Service, and then the Ministry of Health, we distributed containers nationwide to be able to collect most of this medical waste for treatment. In the landfill sector, this was the issue whereby this was school landfill, refuse is displayed, open door, outdoor flies, animals go there, especially those that you buy at the butchery and that and you go there and eat so many animals and then so we came with a plan that we never again this kind of issue. So we currently today we close the landfill. President Nana initiated a plan that we should cover the landfill site, and we have done that system. So we have done a good job to it today. And then in the year 2015, there was a disaster we got to the town in the morning, disaster, killing of about 200 people with their soul rest in peace. And we saw that this was the issue. And in the year 2015, there was a contractor named Conti from the US who was giving this contract to establish or clear the channel of the cholera and due to some financial issues in market. And we are nothing doing with dredging. We don't have any idea in that. But Conti used us as a local partner in the collection of the debris. So we were always, our name was tied to them. So when the issue came that they couldn't perform, they said they are local partner to couldn't perform. So what we did was, okay, we got the idea that let's find a way to solve this. We moved equipment there. We went to Finland, bought some dredges, moved into it. And in 2015, we were dredging, no contract, no payment, no nothing. Free, we were really free. Nothing. So we called ministers to come and assist us. No, nobody seems to bother because they really have stopped and everything is gone. So in the year 2016, I went to the minister then and told him that I'm taking up the dredging. I've got a contract for Burkina Faso. So I want to take the dredges there. And in 2016 was election year. So that's where we can get politicians. Get them tied when I take it a disaster camp, and that's where we got the contract. We able to dredge. So we started dredge masters and we started dredge. We did a lot of disinfection works too. I'd like us to watch this video where the COVID-19 in the year we have disinfected. Currently, disinfecting the airport. We did for the military markets, about 2,500 markets, and so many places. We made the one for UHAS, we came here. We did it for UHAS also, and that's the experience that we didn't do anything on it. We were just into foundation and things. But as leaders solving the problem, in fact, what really is a motivation is always not the money. But whenever we see problems, we are attached to it. We want to have a solution to this. No matter how whether we do it or not, we will let on other expertise and professionals to deal with that. And through that, we have collaborated with so many institutions and universities in terms of partnership. I believe by the process of research and lecture, we will have also an MOU signed with UHAS also to develop. When we started the business of sanitation in the year 2006, there was no comparable waste management to the kind of level we wanted to take it to. So we were not having the professionals. When you call anyone into waste management proper, it has a environmental science, a background, and a little bit. So what we did was to have an institute established for waste management. At that time, most of the profession or degrees that you can have in waste management have to go to UK for a course in waste management. So we have a partnership with the university to establish Institute of Waste Management and Sanitation to be able to develop people into waste management directly into that. So we have this facility we constructed it up, be able to create university to just manage and then have the management. And through that we have also established a 5 million yearly grant support for researchers, looking at future how best we are dealing with data waste management level or sanitation issues in this level, how best we carry to the next 10 years, the next 15 years. So then we need a lot of research with the diversity of the area of the regions and other things, how to deal with public education and other things. So we have to get into some of this research. And then we created this fund. 30 universities applied and did the fund that was distributed to them. We've also established a scheme of about $24,000 at Legon in my name that is being as an award that is given to students who also do well in the area of sanitation. So we also have established a board. We're going to do the same thing for UHAS in this one. I was there when one day I got a letter from Harvard through Professor Chan in a discussion that Harvard have seen, acknowledge the good work that I'm doing. So they have appointed me to serve on the Harvard board for Center for African Studies. I was very, really touched, and we accepted to serve with them. But Council Chair, I humbly want to just make this point here that Harvard have some kind of role like this. They identify entrepreneurs, identify people who have done very well, and then they are able to develop them. They make a lecture series after you, and so every year I have to say the annual lecture, and then they invite people. They set up an endowment fund, and then they will be contributing to it to support. And so these guys have wisdom. It's not anybody that they take easy. They take it. So it's a strategic thing. I see that most of the universities here don't bring entrepreneurial partnership. So like entrepreneurs that we have in this country, a partnership with the university, they can come and share the talk and other things. We create an endowment fund and we contribute I covered every flower has somebody's name already. So like this flower, we call it Mansa AC flower. You identify one Mansa AC who is doing well at the moment. He doesn't even know how to speak English. You will bring Mansa, come and decorate Mansa will be nicely, and Mansa will be contributing to the house. So it is one of the best ways to get most like let's say taking about 2,000 hospitals in Ghana. We now people who have done well in other things, and every facility where you need time of people's need to generate. The government fund farmers about $20 billion. 20 billion. They don't even need the money. That's the interest of the money. That's what they the endowment fund is because of it. So it's one of the people like this that can the rich and most bringing partnership of business people. I met that people there. He was on the West African leadership and I was on the African. So I want to conclude by saying that true leadership entails the continuous search for innovative solutions to our collective problems. True leadership entails the continuous search for our innovative problems. And I want to do this last slide. The Beyond Fiber Bank was established in 1962. It was employed 2,000 people. And in 1980, the plant was having problems. So 1981, the plant closed up. These are the people that was working there. Now since 1991 till date, Ghana continued to import goods. Continuous search for innovative solutions to our collective problems. Council Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, true leadership entails serving our community and our country with humility and selflessness. Professor John Evans Atta-Mills, the statesman in whose honor we are having this commemorative event, embodied these leadership traits. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. We shall invite the University Choir once again to give us an interlude. A short one, of course. After which we will have an audience response.
Thank you very much, UHAS Choir, for your melodious renditions. We normally, as part of this process, allow interaction with the speaker. So we allow you to ask some questions, very brief questions, straight to the point. Nobody is entitled to more than one question. And I am the speaker. You have to catch my eye. If you don't catch my eye, then you will not get the opportunity to speak. So I want to invite the lecturer up here so that...
management as a core subject or profession at the tertiary level for our tertiary institutions. What is your vision? Where do you want to see Ghana? And then what is the greatest challenge for waste management in Ghana? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peter, you have a microphone?
An awesome presentation. And my name is Peter Ataja. I am an ex-dean of the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences, continuing to be here. It was an awesome presentation, and my life had been dedicated to innovation in therapeutics and disease management until I got engaged with UHAS, and I realized that public health is where it goes when it says prevention is better than cure. And what you have been doing is actually working to promote prevention of disease. And so my question is, how could we get you to either engage with our public health institutions to really help in promoting the preventative aspects of disease?
Thank you very much, Peter. The handout was up there. Can you take the microphone to him, please? mention your name, introduce yourself very briefly, and then ask your question. Very brief questions, please. And then there is a hand up here which I didn't identify, but I know there is a hand up in this corner.
Thank you very much. I'm Jeffrey Asalu, a faculty from the School of Public Health, Hohoi. Indeed, I'm very, very happy to be part of this lecture. Some few weeks ago, myself and my colleagues were thinking about an issue in this regard, especially about plastic waste. There's become a menace in Ghana. I'm particularly very interested in that area because of experiences I've had about when I meet people who would tend to litter our environment. And the question I want to ask is, one of the experiences was that somebody was littering and I confronted politely, and the person replied, "Zoom Lion is there." And to me, that has implications. Good that the brand Zoom Lion is doing all this great job. But the fact is that the human behavior has to change. And we at the School of Public Health, I'm so delighted that you have already reached arms to us. And we'll be glad to have a discussion with you. But I want to ask you about behavior in Ghana. What does your company do anything about behavior? I know you do adverts. Sometimes on TV, I've seen a few adverts. But do you have anything about changing behavior?
Thank you very much. So your question is about behavioral change. I think the hand that was up there was from a Just One person, and I don't want Just One people to ask their boss any question here. So I'll transfer that question to Professor Nyidoho. You are allowed to sit. Thank you.
I join everybody in saying a big echo to you for this wonderful presentation. First point is, each time I see the Zoom Lion crew working, I get a sense that there are too many people working in a small area. Is it part of your strategic development projects to get many people employment? Is it turning into a bit of a loss for the company? I'm not so sure. Why are so many people in a small crew working in a small space? I know we are entitled to one question. The second one is not a question. Are you writing your story up for us so that the younger people and even some of the old people can learn from your story? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Prof was being very polite. Is it job for the boys? Tell us. Is it job for the boys? Yeah. So these are 4 questions. So if you can just... It's okay. You can come here and respond.
Okay. Thank you very much. Madam Oye asked a question about addressing the challenges of sanitation or waste management issues, and then the futuristic vision of it. Okay. What I have humbly want to say is that if this country was to be a company and a strategic document have been drafted and is being administered, it will have a continuity. One of the issues that this country is facing so many challenges in terms of administering one thing to move to the other administration is continuity. Every government has a manifesto. and the manifesto changes differently. If we're having a one manifesto that develops a business, the continuity will be quite easy. So we see one administration starts a manifesto, another comes, the manifesto is being abolished or added on or subtracted. So one of the things that I humbly want to say is that a continuity, most of the projects like Saman Saman, which was started in 2008, if it was continued for public administration, we went to Germany and they told us that the challenges that we are facing in Ghana is the same thing that they started in 1950. In 1950, Germany was also having the same, they have slums, they have all the places, they have problems. And this was said by their deputy minister, that they face the same, the thing that we are facing here is the same thing. But consistently, development and continuation has let them become a country free of filth, mosquitoes, and issues. So if we have the continuity, like as we started and we are developing and we are moving on, in a ministry, let's say if they say there's a tenure of 3 reshuffles of a ministry, and I've experienced it in 2008 there, 2008. There were 3 reshuffles at the Ministry of Local Government. And in that 3 reshuffles of the ministry, every minister has his own plan. So one thing that one started, one doesn't want to continue it, and that is it. So the consistently development of this nation demands a kind of a roadmap that everyone adheres to it. Whether it is good, whether it is for party A or party B or party C, consistently we are championing it. It will go a long way to help us solve this problem of sanitation. We have brought the sanitation to appreciable educational level, sensitization. When you compare here to Nigeria, when you compare Ghana to Guinea, if you have traveled to the other West African countries and you step here, you might take here to be a paradise. But we here, what we have to do is the continuity, acceptability of what we have, and then championing it up. So in terms of vision, the vision is still, you see, we don't enforce. We, the private Zoom Lion, hasn't got power of enforcement. So that's our handicap. So we will, in fact, our test that Ghana now we have about 36 treatment plants, which any of the West African, even South Africa, they don't even have it. What we have here in Ghana, here, the treatment facilities and other things, they don't have it. So we should be able to cherish it up. And then government should institute the enforcement. The Saman practice and other things should go on as we're doing in Kwame Nkrumah days. We should continue. Once we do that, we'll be able to get to the excellent way. What would deter people not to throw rubbish is that when you see waste management, it addicts. When people see a cleaner place, they want to continue. When they see a place where it's also littering, they want to also join. So one of the thing that I would say is that we should continue to echo. It should be part of our curriculum at the basic education. It should be part from the university and form parts of our life. And then it will be able to go a long way to help us. So my humble suggestion on this is the continuity of government's agenda and then government supporting enforcement. The enforcement. Once the enforcement comes in, we'll get there. Now, Prof also spoke about prevention, public health issues, and then the public health issues that we will be able to have to deal with them. I'll humbly say that thank you very much for the suggestion. What I think we also have to do here is, you see, every university has a public health department. And the collaboration with the entrepreneurs or businessmen to collaborate to form partnership to be able to deal with issues are very, very, very critical. Normally, the public health issues concentrate more on the health aspects, and then the sidelining of the sanitation real issues are being sidelined. we want to tilt our mind into areas where research can go into plastic recycling, research can go into some kind of practical areas where the collaboration will be very, very positive. And I think Prof will be able to deal with. My friend from Huawei was talking about the plastic and then changing behavioral change. When we started Zoomland, we brought in about on countless musicians to use songs in every language, to use drama, do so many sketches. Everyone was singing, gospel artists, liberal ones. None of them could happen. We saw that those music and other things don't change. Changing aspects that comes in is the conscious effort of telling people. And we recognize that having a bin in a house was one of the most better things that if we could have concentrated on it, it could have been better. You see, waste is culture. Our natural culture, every morning we sweep home. We sweep every morning. A child will sweep the houses. And then we will clean, we'll find a place, make it nicely, and then we have to either collect the refuse into a basket and hid it. In the developed countries, they have a dustbin at the kitchen, dustbin at the bedroom, dustbin on the street, dustbin at public places, dustbin everywhere. So your mind from the house that you litter directly into a bin. So your house can be 1 month, no swept. So directly littering into a bin is a serious behavioral change than getting, when let's say you go to a compound house and somebody is pounding fufu, the cassava and the peel, he will put everything on the ground before he will go and sweep, before he will collect and then find a place. In Abrochi, they do it directly into the bin. So they don't clean, they don't take. So that is more cultural change. Let's get a dustbin in every house. A child of 3 years will see how to dispose a bin. 6 years will see, 8 years will see, and then it will become a culture. When I wasn't in waste management, I was doing the same thing. Now in waste management, when I even have a plastic sachet water and I drink it up, I have to put it into my pocket because it has oriented my mindset to change that, look, you are an advocate of this, don't do that. So a bin in a house, not a basket, not any form of any other thing will help the cultural change. And then the plastic recycling too. Now the plastic will become a value. Now this bottled water, formerly when we finish, we all leave. Now give me just 3 minutes. After we leave here, all this will be missing because it have become value. People will collect all of them and go and recycle. So now there's nothing called waste. It's a resource. It's value. It's cash. Then my father, Professor Anyidahu, Daddy, congratulations. I've been informed you are one of the foundation council chair of this university. You've done a good job. Congratulations. Congratulations. And also the founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Binka. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You've done a good job here. Very brilliant job here. Initially, when the model of sanitation started under the Youth Employment Program, we were given, it was termed as employment generation under President Kufuor. So it was the assemblies that nominated the operatives, and then they were given to us, and then we assigned areas to them. So they have been assigned areas where to work, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, and areas. But most of them, because they are from the community, they are really from the community, they normally converge to discuss. Sometimes they'll be discussing about their problems, their money, their other things. So when you see them converging in discussing, sometimes because of the community cooperation and coordination, they are from houses and communities, they like converging. But each of them have been assigned a specific area to work. And so that is it. But we are working on that. We are trying to tell them much that they should be able to. But once you inform them, when they, in fact, the work is 4 hours. So once they finish the 4 hours, you know, and 80% are women. 80% of the workers. And you know how women, they like conversing. So they will be meeting somewhere and they'll be conversing. Prof, thank you.
Thank you very much. The plan was to leave here by 4:30. I want to catch 2 eyes. And then, Dr. Ameho. And anybody else? Professor Jaku. Okay. All right. So we'll take Dr. Ameho and Professor Jaku, and then we'll call it a day. Yes, Mark.
My name is Mark Ameho, doc lecturer. What will be your definition to me of an effective leader? That's my question.
Thank you. Professor Jaku.
I just want to ask about, I know that one of your byproducts is fertilizer. How come you not use a large scale fertilizer?
Fertilizer.
Organic fertilizer. Which one? Okay. It's on. My name is Komna Jaku. One of the things I know you produce is organic fertilizer. How come it's not on the market?
Why is organic fertilizer not on the market?
Phosphate from Ukraine.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the two questions. But as chairman, I want to ask one. I asked it somewhere some time ago, and I didn't get a good answer. The whole issue of recycling. We have a students' hall of residence, and we wanted to do recycling. So we label the bins, plastic, organic, this and that. Then the truck comes, they collect everything and dump it into the same truck. So my people have stopped the separation because they see that when the trucks come, they put everything back together. So if you can talk about that, I'll be very happy.
Thank you very much. Before I answer these questions, I humbly want to also thank the organizers of this leadership series and inviting us. We want to thank the council chair, the vice chancellor, the deans, the faculty, management of UHAS, and all of you that are here, students here, regional minister, member of parliament here. I have my former deputy minister of health here, minister of health. Honorable Alessegbefia and Mama Oye and big people here, Felix and other people. Dr. Ameho's question of effective leader. Leadership is described by so many people in diverse ways, in diverse definitions. And my humble definition of a leadership is that someone who is able to innovate and get things done. Someone who does innovation, creativity, and get things done. Colonel Powell described leadership as that. He says, the day the soldiers don't come to you as a commander, when you are a commander, the day soldiers refuse to come to you is the day that you've lost your leadership. It's either they don't trust you again or they've lost confidence in you. So when you are a commander, Colonel Powell described that the day as a commander, the day your followers or your soldiers don't bring you problems, don't bring you complaints, is the day you have refused leading them. It's either you don't have confidence in you, or they have designed that you are no more their leader. So a leader, you are in charge, and when you are in charge, you stomach every problems, find innovative and creative way of dealing with them and solving them. So when you are a leader, you stomach challenges, you stomach problems. For example, I manage about so many thousands of people. There might be time, no money, no issues, but I have to stomach all and navigate, find a problem. And you see, once you're also a leader, they don't call leadership on any person. Once you are enthroned as a leader, God give you an instinct, a special grace, a special ability to lead the people. That kind is conferred on you by God's design. So once you step up, courage, as the Bible told Joshua, be courageous. Once you become courageous to lead, that kind of ability is also enhance your leadership. So a leader is somebody who creates, innovates, and finds solutions to problems. Organic market, you see, we currently we are only dealing with Accra compost plants and Kumasi compost plants. So this organic compost is not in abundance. The plant for food and jobs demanded. Cocoa board now is looking more than 1 million bucks, because we sell it at 15 or 30 cedis, whereas the actual fertilizer is being sold at 110, 120. So it is about 5 or 6 times, because the raw material is waste. So assuming we have all these regional compost plants set up in each region, Ghana generates 18,000 tons of waste daily, every day, 18,000 tons. So when we are not able to treat it, another 18,000 will add every day. Within a month, you have huge of heaps surrounded. That's why there are so many heaps. But with these regional plants, the 18,000, we can mine 60% of each of them. So within a year's time, I want to promise you that there will be abundance of compost plants, compost waste in every region. Because mine 60%, every region is being mounted, there's plants there. So you have a lot. And our 18 tons, we can mine 60% of it. And then the last one by Professor VC Japan is about plastics, organic, and then the trucks picking it up. You see, in developed countries like Japan, they have 7 containers. So plastics, and even the plastic, they have hard plastic, lighter plastic, sachet water. And a car comes to pick one waste at a time. So one car will come and pick the plastic, another will come and pick metal, another will come and pick organic. So you have 7 cars coming to your house. And each of them has a resource point where they take, because it's also a resource to a factory. They also have subsidy that they pay. Government have enacted a subsidy that it pays to support these recycling projects. And then also there's also a conscious effort that this recycled products must be utilized. Is in Europe, let's say you have to compulsory use 30% biofuel, biodiesel, 30%, and add it to your normal fuel. It's a compulsory, it's a law. So you go to any fracturing plant, they process a biodiesel and add 30% to it. It's to promote recycle and all the other activities. So that is what Europe, America, everywhere there's recycle and the conscious effort of containers, separate containers, that's what is being done. In Ghana here, the leverage and the support for recycled products is not being encouraged. So when you go and take 3 cars to come to UHAS, one picking plastic, organic, the cost of the service and all other things become very problematic. So we design an equipment, looking at our condition and our culture and other things. We have designed equipment that when you box all together, when you get to the plant, it separates it by itself. So that is why the trucks box all together. So that if we are not able to bring 3 trucks to UHAS to pick each of them, when it gets down, it will separate the plastics, the metal, and that. And that's the new modern equipment we are fixing. So be it good or bad, it will end to the same destination. Now, what is the problem is that even one dustbin, we are finding a challenge of separating it up. So if you add more, or 3 bins there and you are picking it up, the resource centers where you have to produce and manufacture it for valuable use, it becomes more challenging. So we are doing it there at the plant, and the plant is able to, we design the plant, we partnered with the manufacturer to design the plant that it can separate, and currently it's doing very well. It's able to separate the plastics, the metal, and that thing. So, Prof, that is my humble answer to your question. And on this note, I humbly want to thank all of you for your time, VC, Chair, and everyone for your time, for giving me this opportunity to share my story with you. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much for speaking to us in such a succinct way. You know, one of the responsibilities of the Vice Chancellor is to identify the speaker for these lectures. I've had the opportunity to do it 5 times. My senior colleague, Professor Binka, did the first one, and I've had the opportunity to do the last 5. I've had feedback on each and every one of them. I haven't had the feedback on this yet, but I am very sure the feedback will be very, very positive. And on that note, I want to make a few closing remarks. As you can see, I have prepared my closing remarks even before the lecture, based on my expectation. But I think that my expectation has not been I think my expectations have been very well met. And truly, from humble beginnings come great things. This has been said in diverse ways by many people, but what we have heard today goes to attest to the fact that humble beginnings can generate very great things. I also believe very much in the scriptures. In Job 8:7, it says that your beginnings will seem humble, so prosperous will your future be. And I believe that this is an apt description of the story that we have been told. Since we are here talking about leadership, and we hear the story of Jospon, many of us have been having ideas and dreams and things going on in our minds, but we've been sitting down. I want to suggest humbly that you start where you are, make use of what you have, and do what you can. And this will certainly lead you into some very, very good paths. Don't sit. Do something. You have to start. And you don't have to look too far away. There is certainly something in your hands, something around you that you can start with. And you can only have success by making
the initiative. I found this very interesting yesterday. Last night I was combing through a few things that I could share, and I saw this step wedge thing. And I just want to give you a moment to reflect and ask yourself, where are you today as far as these issues are concerned? There are some people who won't do anything. And there are some who think they cannot do anything. There are some who also say they want to do it, but they are sitting there. Wanting to do it is not enough. And there are others who are also wanting to do it and are asking the questions, how do I do it? There are some who decide that, look, I'll try. I will really try. And there are those who have the can-do spirit, and they go out and say, I really can do this, so I will do it. But we are waiting for the day where you can say, yes, I did it. And I believe all of us, like Jospon, can have that day when we can say, yes, I did it. And on that note, I want to thank you all for your attention. I would not attempt to summarize his lecture. Since I hadn't heard it already, I did my own thing. I want to have the opportunity to say, yes, I did it. We are all potential leaders. We all have it inherent in us some way. But we can only achieve it when we make the effort. Based on our traditions and the things that you have heard today, tomorrow as part of our congregation, the university will confer an honorary Doctor of Science degree on our speaker. And he will be the guest speaker at the ceremony as well, where he is giving 7 minutes to motivate the graduates. That's a motivational speech. Some off the cuff, but very succinct words to motivate our graduates who are going out there. Nurses, physician assistants. Tomorrow we are not graduating doctors. Public health specialists who are all getting into the field of work. But many of them are going to sit down there waiting for government to employ them. We want you to tell them something. Before I sit down, I want to make some acknowledgements. And I find it very important to make this acknowledgement at this time. Because over the years, I've realized that there's been an increase in the interest in these lecture series. The very first time I organized it in 2017, we sent invites all over the place. And the only, well, of course, the regional minister is always here with us, so for him, I don't count him as the external people. Honorable, thank you very much for attending all our lectures. The only external person who, I'm not saying matters, but you know, everybody matters, but the only external person who came was Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa. Sorry, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Yes, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Is he around? Yes. Honorable, thank you for attending all the lectures. He was the only one who came that time. The rest were... But over the years, now I see that there's a lot of interest. And we want to acknowledge the fact that there are so many friends of this lecture series. Mrs. Atta-Mills, we always invite her, and she has indicated to us that she would have loved to be here, but for very good reasons, she's unable to be here. So we count her present here. The extended family of Professor Mills, we always send an invite to. The office of the former president, Mahama, we always send an invite to. Sometimes he is able to send representation. Last year, he sent Professor Jena Nopokwajimai to represent him. And the Volta and Utikokos have always been with us in one way or the other. I'm sure my MP is somewhere here. He spoke to me this morning. Honorable Kodo. Yeah. Thank you, Honorable. I'm sure there are others. I spoke to a few who said they will be coming. I'm sure they are somewhere here. And of course, the National Democratic Congress, especially the Volta Regional Caucus, have always been here. And we've had, very interestingly, 3 groups representing the interests of a very humble father. At a point in time, I was getting confused, but now I'm getting educated. There is the foundation, there is the institute, and there is the memorial heritage, all of whom are now getting very much associated with us. And we are very, very, very happy. Yesterday, our good friend Koko Anyidoho joined us on the float all the way through the principal streets of Ho. And we are very, very, very thankful to that. So last night, I decided, as part of my search, I found 3 interesting logos. One for the foundation, one for the institute, and another one for the memorial heritage. And today, I was advised that there is a 4th one somewhere. I didn't know. This is good for UHAS, and we would want to be closely associated with you. And today, I got a very nice letter from the Memorial Heritage, formally deciding to sponsor a prize for the best graduating sandwich student for the next 5 years with a sum of $1,500. So we are happy, and we are very excited to have all of you around. But council and university management wants to keep this as an intellectual arena for engagement so that we can build the next generation of leaders. So if I don't allow any of these to speak, it is not to spite you or any way, but we just want to remain focused in the academic environment, and we will forever continue to acknowledge your contribution and your goodness to this university. On that note, I thank you very much.
Well, next on the program is acknowledgements, but the Vice Chancellor seems to have taken the wind out of my sail. However, I have few acknowledgements to make. Help me acknowledge the presence of our council chairman and the person of His Lordship Justice Jones Victor Jones Maulon Doche. Let's give a round of applause. We have the presence of Professor Kofi Anyidoho and the spouse Professor Akosi Anyidoho. We have Professor Fred Newton Binka, first Vice Chancellor, Mr. Kofi Siabi Mensah, our very first Registrar. We have the pleasure of having our Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yao-Lecha, who has been acknowledged. a rep of the CEO of the whole teaching hospital, Dr. Lord Mensah, who is here. The president of the Evangelical Presbyterian University College, Professor Edem Kosi Baka. Professor Festus Ajaku, the first dean of the School of Basic and Biomedical Sciences of UHAS. I have Dr. Gameli Nogbe. He was a former dean of two schools, SAS, School of Allied Health Sciences and School of Nursing and Midwifery. I saw him a while ago. We have a number of our members of parliament. The whole Central MP has already been acknowledged, Honorable Kudo. We also have the member of parliament for Whole West in the person of Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra. We have Honorable Charles Agbeve of Agoti Meziopi. And you have Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa already acknowledged. Thank you for coming. We have Mr. Koku Anyidoho, CEO of the Atta-Mills Institute. We have Dr. Alex Segwefia. Mr. Segwefia, he's the board chair of the John Evans Atta-Mills Memorial Heritage. We also have the CEO and the board secretary of the same heritage, Nana Oye Bampoado, a former minister of gender as well. We have Naval Lieutenant Francis Aisen, representing the CEO of Sisters Artillery Regiment, with us here. We have a rep from the Vice Chancellor's Ghana, Mr. Hadi Moro. Of course, we have an army of staff from Jospon Group of companies. We have this Chief Operating Officer, Environment and Sanitation Group. We have Mrs. Dora Yeboah Boateng, Coordinating Executive for Commercial and Allied Services, Jospon Group. Let's appreciate her presence. Mrs. Gloria Opoku Anti, Managing Director, Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. Mr. Elvis Ativo, Chief Financial Officer, the ICT Group of Jospon Group of Companies. Madam Emma Adjoa Apia Oseiduya, Communications and Corporate Director, Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. Solomon Daniel, Regional Manager, Zoom Lion, and his team, they are here. We have Sophia Kujoji, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Jospon Group of Companies, and Mr. Felix Atrim, CEO, Fedams Limited. And of course, I would not forget the presence of Ola girls. Ola, we appreciate you for coming. That is the former school of our registrar. She smiled when she saw you. Thank you for coming. I saw Malco girls. Thank you for coming. And of course, we have our own children, the UHAS Basic School. Well represented with their teachers. And every other person who have not been mentioned, we acknowledge you. I did. Malco girls. I have few announcements to make. When we leave here, all students are supposed to remain here. faculty and staff, will be going to the cafeteria for a brief reception. Senior management will go to the foyer of the library. The council chamber will be for our invited guests. Students and choir will go to the basement instead. And other staff will go to the CD auditorium conference room, is up here on our left. And those are the arrangements after here. And of course, those of you who are here for the rehearsal for tomorrow's congregation, we urge you to remain here. Immediately, the invited guest, the lecturer and the vice chancellor leave us, and the council chairman leave, we all follow. We will remain here. The students who are coming for congregation remain here for rehearsals towards tomorrow's congregation. On this note, we want to say thank you once again for being part of the 6th UHAS Leadership Lecture Series in memory of Professor John Evans Atta-Mills. Thank you once again. Shall we have the Kekeli Cultural Troupe to lead a recession, after which all the other. Before then, we'll have a closing prayer. Shall we welcome the Director of Human Resources, Mr. David Ajovie, to give us the closing prayer. We'll do that after the closing prayer.
Shall we rise up for the closing prayer? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for a very successful day like this, when we've had the 6th Leadership Lecture Series in the memory of our former president. We thank you so much for the speaker, and we thank you for the leadership of the university. We are departing, but we are not leaving your presence. We pray your presence will go with us. We pray you continue to guide us, and all we've learned here will be things that we can use to guide our lives and continue to soar for greater heights. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
You can hold on for us. Hold on. We'll take a good photo. That's okay. Kekeli Cultural Troupe, go.